I started a rental car business about 2 years ago, and I got up to about 4 cars. I still got one of them. I told you about the first repossession. I threw a show and I lost my first car. Later on down the line, 2020, what is it, 2023? So 2021, I started a rental car business, and it was booming on Turo. It was really, really popping. I was making a lot of money, but I wasn't responsible with the money, feeling like it was going to last forever and that nothing bad could possibly go wrong. I didn't take into consideration the problems that come along with it. So I was just spending money, not putting nothing to the side, and I financed everything. I took $9,000 and I put a down payment on 4 cars, and I got those 4 cars. And I put them on the road, and they was making money. They basically was paying for themselves. They was making so much money. But sometimes I would not pay those notes, just use the money for something else, or just, living life, doing whatever. And then the problems started happening. You know, all the cars need brakes at the same time. All the cars need tires at the same time. Oil changes at the same time. You got to keep them clean. Some people don't bring the cars back clean, so now you got to do a car wash. So I think probably one of the first experiences I had was a guy rented a car, and at the day he was supposed to bring it back, he supposedly had a family emergency. But the time he was supposed to bring it back, it was another person coming to pick up that car. So it was going right back out. So I had the other person waiting there, and this guy messaged me saying I had a family emergency. I'm not going to be able to bring the car back. So at this time I didn't have trackers on my car, so I couldn't even go get it. I didn't know where it was, and I didn't have a spare key. So I was kind of out of luck. But eventually he told me where the car was, so I was able to go to the car at least. It was at a train station. For some reason, he drove to a train station and then took a train to his family's house. So I sat out there all night waiting for a locksmith. The first locksmith came, he was able to get me in the car, but he wasn't able to make a key. So the people that was able to make a key wasn't going to be available till 8 a.m. the next morning. So I stayed out there. I had to get 2 keys made. Well, I got 2 keys made. That was like $400. So I took a loss on that. The money that I would have got from the guys spent on the rental, I spent on new keys, the locksmith fee. Also, the next booking, I missed that morning. It was that was a $500 rental, so I missed out on that money. So I lost $900 in a couple hours, basically. And that was my first setback. So now I'm behind on everything. Then, what else happened? One of my other cars, I had a Mitsubishi, what was it? Outlander, a 2020 Mitsubishi Outlander. And those were targets for catalytic converters. So the catalytic converter got stolen while it was being rented. And I didn't call the insurance people right away. I don't know why. I felt like, all right, I'll just pay for another one to get it fixed. I didn't feel like dealing with the hassle of insurance, which I should have did. I didn't even have to go through my personal insurance. I could have went through Turo because it happened while it was rented. And I just kind of dragged my feet with that. So it's sitting there now. It's costing me money. I'm paying the car note every month, but the car is just sitting there. So eventually I stopped paying the car note. I did take it to get an estimate to get fixed, but the part, it was happening so much that that part was on back order for 3 months. So it would have had to sit there anyway, so I stopped paying the car note. Eventually that got repossessed. What else happened? Another one of my cars, my Ford Fiesta was vandalized on a trip, on a booking. So that car was sitting, and anytime the car starts to sit, I'm like, all right, I'm just paying out of pocket. The car is just sitting there, but it's costing me money and not making me money. So my mindset at that time was, all right, I'm not paying this car note. It is what it is. I done lost the car already, now I just lost another one. My Volkswagen Passat was in a couple accidents. So the first time I learned from these two experiences. Call the insurance right away. So my Volkswagen Passat was in an accident. It was sitting there. And the guy had tried to say it was that mark. The mark was already there. It wasn't a mark. It was a big ass dent in the passenger side of the car. So he tried to get around it, but I had before and after pictures, and that's what saved me. So Toro covered it. It got fully fixed. Later on down the line, I ended up driving it for personal use, and my personal insurance had lapsed at the time. I was behind, and I hit a deer, and I wasn't able to file the insurance claim for it. So the damage was $3,000 worth of damage, and I didn't have that at the time, so the car was just sitting there. And, so when it's sitting there, stop paying the car note. That got repossessed. But this all happened because I didn't have enough knowledge of the business. Well, I had enough knowledge of the business, but not the managing of the business, right? So I was just, every deposit was going straight to my personal account when I should have set up a business account, and I should have got an LLC for it, but I didn't do that. I just was running it. So yeah, I ended up losing a majority of my cars, and having to start from scratch. But the thing is, now I have the knowledge. I went through the failures. Now I can rebuild, knowing everything I know now, all the losses I went through, and make better decisions and actually flourish in the business.